All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen who are joining us here, but also some that are joining us at home and will join us in the future at home on YouTube, Facebook. This is a Data Center Zoning and Land Use Amendments Committee is what it says here in front of me. August 18th, 2026. I'll call this meeting to order. Let me have a roll call real quick, or just make a roll call of who is here. I'm just going to state who we have right now. We have Ms. Wetzel.
Here.
And then we have Mr. Pearson.
We're supposed to do.
And we have Mr. Keller. And we have Mr. Gray. We have Mr. Gray with us and myself. So we don't necessarily have to have a quorum, but I just wanted to take note of who actually was in the meeting at this time. So we have those. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for everyone who's joining us in the audience. At this time, I am going to yield the floor to Councilman Keller, and he will lead the meeting for the remainder unless I'm needed.
Welcome. Thanks, everyone, for showing up. So this is the first official meeting of the Data Center Zoning and Land Use Amendments Committee. As we mentioned, for those of you who were here last time, and for those of you who weren't, we talked about breaking up into subcommittees that will kind of look at different things so that we can divide the work and then come back together, since we only have about 6 months to do this. So a lot of what this meeting tonight is will be broken up into the smaller groups. But I did want to first thank you. Thank you for being here. Good government happens when citizens are involved, and so I am confident that what we're going to get at the end of this work together is going to be something that's good for our community, because you guys are here. So thank you very much. Kind of the background, again, and purpose of this is not because there is a data center that is coming, but because we've all seen what has happened in other areas when a data center has come in and there aren't rules or regulations involved to kind of guide how that entity should operate in that community. So we formed this committee, the council did, and that's what we're here to do, is we're going to work on what those rules and regulations need to be for us here in Russellville. I do want to say that we're going to, in addition to the people here in this room right now, and then I'm comfortable with it, other people joining as it goes on. If someone didn't hear about it and they want to get involved, they can. But the main thing that we need to remember is that, again, because none of us are as smart as all of us. And so even we break up into the subcommittees, we're going to need to bring in like different stakeholders and experts and whatnot. So if you're working on energy, you're going to need to have someone from energy come in and talk about what that's going to look like. If you're going to talk about water, you're going to have someone from Citicorp, so on and so forth. So we're going to need to make sure that we do bring in, those subject matter experts that can help guide what it is that we're doing to make sure that our rules and regulations are good. And another thing that I want to caution folks about is that there have to be, at the end of this, there have to be something that can also stand up in court. There were a couple folks at the last meeting who said, we just don't want data centers here. And as we discussed, we can't say a data center can't come here. So what that means is not only can we say data centers aren't allowed, but we can't write the code in a way where functionally data centers aren't allowed, because they're not allowed between, from a mile from a house or a mile from a blade of grass. You can't write it so specific and so narrow that it's a functional ban. So that's just something to keep in mind. It's like, this isn't to keep them out. This is to, if something was to come here, these are the rules they're going to have to play by. And then I just kind of want to just open it up. This was just me kind of spitballing as some ideas for subcommittees on here. Land use and zoning, site and compatibility, noise and operations, electrical infrastructure, water resources, stormwater and environmental protection, and then monitoring and enforcement. So that's 7 different subcommittees. But I want, because we're all a part of this, if anyone has any idea about a way to, like, maybe some of these committees should be combined, or maybe there's something that was left off, please feel free, raise hand. You're gonna have to, you will have to come up to the microphone and state your name for the record and whatnot. But this is supposed to be, I hate that we're up here, unfortunately, because this is where our camera stuff is, but it doesn't really, it's not really conducive environmentally to have a lot of discussion in the room. But if you have something you want to add, please just raise your hand and let us know. Or anyone up here, if you guys have something you want to say, just chime in. This is not my show. This is our show. I'm just trying to facilitate it. When we do break up into subcommittees, we need the group to kind of designate kind of like a subcommittee leader or chair or whatever. And then I know I'm going to work with all the different chairs of the subcommittees to make sure that anything that we do is following the law. So like anything that a subcommittee does is going to be subject to open meeting laws, because this is part of city government now. So you guys have all been deputized. So we have to make sure that there are announcements made and that the press and the public knows when a meeting's going to happen. We need to have, and there are going to be some other things that we'll have to do on that. And I'll get with whoever is kind of like leading that subcommittee to make sure that we have all the information going forward. Does anyone have anything before we break up into subcommittees and start talking about what the next steps are going to be individually?
Mr. Keller, where are you going to try to, because we currently have a commission meeting going on in the kitchen. We do have the downstairs conference room that you could send someone to. You do have executive chambers right behind us that you could send a group to. And then you could break up a couple in here if you wanted different sides to try to figure out what that looks like. I was just trying to figure out where you would want to break up and send different groups to do that. And there, also, at this point in time, we are being videoed and we are being recorded at this point in time. So and the reason we're doing that is we have 4 council members and myself, and so that by law we have to record that. I would encourage you, if you do break up into a side group, please record that if you don't mind. Somebody pull out I don't have a recorder for every group, but if you can pull out a phone, if somebody would just record it and send that to us so that we can have that for record, because we do want to be as transparent as possible so that there's no people saying we did this, we did that. I mean, that's the goal of us. Like Mr. Keller said, it's kind of a pain being up here, but this is where our best video and best audio for those that can't be here, and unfortunately the majority can't be here. So just know if you do break up and you're not, I'm sure one of the council will be happy to do that with their phone, but if you happen to be in a meeting that does not have a council person with you, please do that, and you can just get that information to one of us, and we'll go from there. That was just my 2 cents. Just want to make sure that and I know that's your heart, that's your desire of everyone here to be as transparent as possible. And like I say, those are the only places I know that we can break up. Yeah, if you would have come up. Teresa, is that correct? You did a great job last week, Teresa, or a couple weeks ago, Teresa. You don't have to, I know you don't think you did, but you didn't. Everybody was actually talked how well you did, so.
It's not much. All I was thinking was.
Yeah. If you would look at it, or talk in the microphone for everybody at home.
State your name, please. Teresa Brewer.
Yeah.
Could we possibly have energy and water together? Seems like, because you've got a whole bunch of committees you're supposed to have.
Sure. I don't think there's
yeah.
any, we don't have any prescriptions for that.
Yeah.
Actually, I was wondering if we could combine, you've got stormwater, environmental, and then you've got water resources, if we could combine those two, and then land use and sitting compatibility.
Or siding compatibility.
I thought maybe those could each be combined and cut down on the number of committees.
Yeah.
Or do you think that would be too much for them to cover?
No, I think you're on the right, sounds reasonable to me.
So if we did land use, zoning, siding, and compatibility as one, And then are you saying electrical,
Water resources
water
and stormwater.
resources, and then stormwater and environmental protection?
No,
all
no.
as one?
I thought electrical might stay by itself, but the
Okay.
two water-related ones combined, and then we'd be down to 5 instead of 7.
You could, you could almost take, I think, gosh,
Okay, I've added noise and operations as one. I will not, and I'm sorry, if I seemed a little scatterbrained this evening. My mind's in a million
My
different
other
places.
question, and then I'll go sit down. What about Army Corps of Engineers? Couldn't we get a study from them too about the impact of the water usage?
We would, I'm not saying we couldn't, but we would have to get something
That's a
from
heavy
them.
lift.
Yeah.
They do, the Corps, they're like railroads, they do their own thing, and that's not to say they wouldn't, or if they're, but I don't know if that's in their purview, or if they even do that, because usually it's the other way around. When we ask the Corps something, they tell us what we're gonna do.
Well, and I don't know that the Arkansas U.S. Army Corps of Engineers they wouldn't have any data, because there's not a data center in the state of Arkansas yet that is
But-
affected.
But wouldn't they know how much the massive amount of water usage would affect the nuclear plant and things like that?
Depends on, if you're pulling from the
dams.
Arkansas River, they're gonna have something to say about it.
Yes.
There-
If you're not, then that's not, again, I'm not an expert, but I don't think that's in their purview, because their Corps of Engineers is controlling navigation and
No.
access on
And
the
it's my
river, so-
understanding there isn't any data center that's pulling from the river or putting water back in the river, because then
wouldn't
they
allow them
would
to.
have to deal
Yeah,
with
they
the.
would not allow them to.
Then where are they getting the water?
From local water sources, we don't get our water from the river. We get we have a reservoir called the Huckleberry Reservoirs, where the city of Russellville gets their water. So that is
So-
not.
so
Yeah,
like
most
theoretically-
most companies,
We remember getting our river
From
water
wells.
late in the summer. Y'all, if you're old as I am, you get that Arkansas River taste in your water for a couple of months back in the day.
So
We
that's
don't do
what-
that anymore, though.
That's my only,
Thank you.
No,
Yeah.
I think that's a great
That's-
idea. And I think that would be something that could go under that monitoring and enforcement part, where you're talking about getting a third party to
And
potentially
this
come in
is
and
for
look at
everyone.
something.
I'm just throwing this out here, that I think where we can have teeth in this body and with you folks helping us is through our zoning stuff, because that's where we can control something. We can't ban things, as Mr. Keller said, 'cause it's against the law. But we can bolster our planning things where I think there might be a couple of holes. Is that y'all's assessment? That might be, if there's a key to this, that's it.
So like currently, in the stuff, just so you know, the handouts that I put over there, this is the current zoning code. This is all that is currently in our zoning code dealing with data centers, and it's all about noise. And so,
Because that was built around.
because that was built around crypto mines.
Yeah. That was the technology at the time
Yeah.
we were concerned about.
And so, yeah.
Yeah,
Come up.
Just state your name.
Jump in at any time?
Yeah.
Of course, just state your name.
Okay, all right. Hi, I'm Hannah Butler. I'm here as a citizen. Just have to say that. I wanted to see if there was any consideration as to putting like health and safety as part of a subcommittee. I feel like I have seen a couple of different things, like, because the Clarksville one's right by that hospital, so there have been a lot of concerns about, oh my gosh, like, what's that going to do to the people that are in the hospital? So that's my first question, and then I have another.
I mean, that would be.
Was the question, could we have a health?
Yes, could we
Oh,
explore
I thought
having
you were
a
about to ask
health and
Oh,
safety? No, sorry, I
No.
didn't want to dump too much on you at once.
That's what I was thinking.
So, we could just make noise and operations.
And safety,
We could,
or health and safety, yeah.
yeah, health and safety, and just put noise as part of that.
Okay. And then I know that there was some talk at one time about like Stephen Hauserman, he was going to data centers and like exploring a couple. I wondered if you guys had consulted with him first before putting these like ideas of subcommittees together, and or considered maybe it would be worth some of the council's time for some of you to actually go and look at one, because I mean, that's why I come to these meetings in person, is because it is a different experience to be here versus watch it online. So yeah, you can research all day, you can like read the stories, but until you're there, I think it would be really, really helpful, you know, if you guys are gonna do this mindfully and critically, then to make sure that, you know, you're covering all your bases. You've already got 7 subcommittees on here. So I mean, I know you've only got 6 months, but I wonder if it's worth.
I went and
Having a
visited
little
with
bit
him
more.
for an hour and a half, 2 hours. I knew I wasn't going to be in town for the last meeting, but just before I left town, I went and visited with him for a couple hours. And I mean, I think he's a tremendous resource. He knows a lot more about data centers than probably any of us do. And spoke to him also about being able to set up another road trip like he did in Johnson County, where he was able to take people to a data center and do a tour and see firsthand what the noise was like, what the atmosphere was like, how it seemed to be impacting their neighbors. And so I definitely, transportation would be the only question, but I definitely want the opportunity to do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Both of those are good ideas.
Excellent. Come on up. Come on up. You can have you can be on the bench there, on deck.
Yep. Chris Hausnick, I was wondering, maybe combining land use and zoning with siting and compatibility. It seems like those all deal with zoning and how it interacts with residential neighborhoods and things of that nature. I think one other thing, I don't know, part of this, I guess, would be almost like city council and approval bureaucracy. Like, one of the things that comes up is NDAs come up. The other one is like emergency clauses. We're finding in other jurisdictions that they invoke the emergency clause. That is something, though, I think is much more for city council, the city councilors and probably city attorney to see what that would be. But I think that may be another group, the process for this sort of stuff, or easements and things of that nature, for
Yeah.
like a bureaucracy subsection.
Yeah, I think things like that, and of course, yeah, we have the power to do the emergency clause, and I think, given people's concerns and stuff, if we find what everyone wants to do and we do that, I think it would be something appropriate for the emergency clause, because it'd be time specific, like we're trying to keep whatever from happening. But also, whatever you all come up with, we can turn this over to our planning professionals, who can then write that language and consult with our city attorney to make sure that what we've come up with meets legal muster and will protect us and actually do what we want it to do. Thank you.
I think the actual language of the emergency clause actually protects you anyway. You would not be using the emergency clause for anything like this, correct? For you shouldn't be. In that case, would you say? Health, safety, and well-being.
Yeah.
Only thing I was saying.
That would be
safety and well-being,
I don't think you should be able to
Make
use the emergency
specific.
clause for a data center. I don't think that would be a legal use of it. So. Yeah, I know they will. So.
But this would be possibly the opposite, like, we don't want you here, and we're doing it time specific, so we're making sure we don't have to wait 30 days or 60 days or 90 days or anything like, normally we would with an ordinance.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. My name is Sarah Hegel. Under monitoring and enforcement, will there be any way to make the owner of the data center provide reports of what type of data it's harvesting? For instance, will it be adhering to corporations pushing marketing campaigns for dead internet/bots that we hear about? Or will it be more for our medical records in this region? Or is it going to be more state? What type of reports will we be specifically requiring of them?
So, Ms. Hegel, is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so kind of, did you watch the last meeting? Have you?
No, sir.
Okay, so kind of, it's my belief that we don't have enough land in the city of Russellville to have a data center.
Okay, great.
So I don't think that we're actually going to have a data center in the city of Russellville. Okay, so the council here is what they're doing is trying to put in some parameters if a smaller scale something were to try to come in, because at this point in time you can't, you got 400 plus acres, I think, that Serve Farm, is it Serve Farm? Something like that. They have, I know they only have 135 acres right now, but they have much bigger plans in Johnson County, and so hyperscale data centers that are being built right now, there's just not enough land. Now, we have this magic line around us, which is called the city limits, and we have no control over that, outside of that. So that's why the conversation would need to be had with Quorum Court and the Pope County Judge. And actually, I don't know that they have any regulations that would be able to prevent that. But that's their playing field and not ours. But so I don't know. That would be a legal question for Arkansas Municipal League and our city attorney on the fact that if you could require, I don't know that you could require knowing what kind of data. I think that would be a hard sell, being able to actually, because I can't even go out and tell you, I can't tell you how much sales tax any individual business pays right now. I don't have the ability to go out and tell you what their actual income or anything like that, because I think once we have that knowledge, all of that knowledge becomes public knowledge, and so then it would be FOIA-able, and so I think it would be one of those things that you would. But that's an interesting question. I'd never heard that asked, but that's a very interesting question.
Thanks for your time.
I think
So-
It would depend on the center too, like the one going in, this proposed for West Memphis, that is a Google data center. So we can.
Anything to do with Google.
Anything Google does will probably be, it's a $4 to $6 billion data center. It's gonna make the one in Clarksville look really small. So what's Google gonna do with it? Google does a lot of things.
Thanks for your time.
But I think that your question actually brought up a really good point of something to think about in this, is when we're putting these regulations together, when we're writing, what we want to see in the code and how we want to make these amendments. Ask, like, would it be something that we could ask another company that was in town? Like, we couldn't write a rule that ConAgra has to tell us exactly what meals they're preparing in their factory. And if that changes, they have to let us know. We can't, we can say, you have to let us know what chemicals you're using so that our emergency responders will know what kind of environment that they're coming in, and we can keep that stuff on file so that in the event that information is needed, then we can go in there and get it. Or then we have that information so that we can respond properly. So I think kind of in the same way, like, I don't know that we could ever ask them what type of data that they're collecting. I think that what we could ask them is there any, like, what someone brought up, lithium batteries, someone brought up, all the different things that we could ask any company that came in, what that, what it is that you're doing as far as, and then how it affects outside their limits and then into the city more broadly. I hope that made sense. So as you're coming up, I just want to go ahead and say, so I'm hearing combined land use, combine the first two, land use and siting, change noise and operations to health and safety. And then there's been two different ones, two different suggestions about having electrical infrastructure by itself, but then combining it with water and stormwater, which it's been suggested to combine those two together. Is it?
Yeah, I think I'd keep electrical separate and just do all the water stuff together.
My name is Drew Wilson. This is just, and if I'm speaking out of ignorance, please correct me, but I'm potentially under maybe land use or zoning or siting incompatibility, maybe some sort of required surety bond or reclamation bond should the business decide to leave, because we're seeing these data centers built with such haste. They're kind of popping up everywhere, and while an old National Home Center might make a great thrift store, a data center is a very niche building, so should they decide to leave, I think a bond in place to where that business has to fund the land being reclaimed or the adaptation for another business to move in. It's just so niche, and as we see technology grow so fast, this data center could be obsolete in 10 years. And we don't want to get stuck as the people of Russellville with a big building that we have no use for. But I don't even know if that's possible in Arkansas.
Well, we do clawbacks with contracts with people who come in. So we don't have our attorney here. I think it's probably feasible, but I don't know. I mean, it's a great point, but I don't know legally what we can do and what we can't do with that. But you're right. I would love to have a clawback of some kind on something like that.
I just wanted to propose it potentially under maybe land use and zoning for afterwards, should they decide that it was not a necessary build or there really isn't a call for it. That way we're just not on the hook.
Right.
You're exactly right. Technology is moving really fast.
Really quick. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
I think that would be a great thing for whoever's in monitoring and whatever group gets together for monitoring and enforcement to look at that as another possibility.
Yeah, I think that would fit under enforcement.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Hi, Terry Clear. I serve on the Planning Commission, and I just want to put another rumor to rest. I heard that it wasn't on Facebook. It came from the Pope County Democratic Committee. Someone there said that Legends was talking about putting in a data center. And I met with the people at Legends yesterday, and they said they are absolutely not thinking of putting in a data center.
I haven't heard that from them. The only thing I think that might fuel that is they're putting a solar farm in that area,
Right,
and that has nothing to do with a data center.
exactly.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with a data center.
Right.
So yeah, and that's actually not zoned for data center anyway.
Thank you.
It's not zoned for a data center. So it's C5, I believe, is it not? I believe it's
Zoned for
C5. So
casino.
it has to be M1 or M2. So.
Yeah, it's casino only is what it's zoned for. Anyone else?
Well, if no one has anything else, I say there's 5 of us up here. If we broke up into 5 different subcommittees and at least start in this room, and then you can go find another nook or cranny to kind of start talking about what you want to do in your subcommittee and when you're going to meet next and so on and so forth.
So you have, just to clarify, you have downstairs in the lower conference room, you should be able to put 2 down there. You should be able to have 1 up here. Should be able to put 1 in the executive chambers here if you would like. And if someone wants, I can seat, I can seat 6 at my desk.
I think the
did they-
cemetery commission's done.
Have
I
they left?
think.
Okay, if they did, then you could actually do the kitchen and the dining area. So that gives you more.
We could do 5 if we had 2 in here, 1 in the kitchen, 1 in the dining, and then 1 back
Yeah.
here. We could
Or I
do just all.
come up here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I'll be happy to host one in my office if anyone wants to. I
Okay.
can seat 6 at my desk, so.
So let's just start out. If you would like to be on the land use and zoning and siting and compatibility subcommittee, let's just start going in that back corner over there. Okay.
Not everybody at once.
I did put land use zoning, siting and compatibility in a corner. Health and safety. If you're interested in health and safety, let's just go ahead and start right over here. If you're interested in electrical infrastructure, let's go back over here. If you're interested in water resources, stormwater, and environmental protection, maybe over here. And then monitoring and enforcement. Let's just meet up front, and then we'll figure out someplace else to go.
I haven't called them yet. I've been trying to figure out how to do it. I told you I have like a weird situation.
Can I do health and safety?
So I've been trying to figure
Okay,
out what's better.
so who's health and safety?
It's this corner.
We'll go to my office if that's okay. And
I
then you
was-
have,
I'd like water, if that's okay. If there's anyone else,
okay, I do need to, wait just a second. So, okay, so for those of you at home, so this group is breaking up into multiple different groups. Sorry that you're not able to go into all 5 different groups. So at this point in time, we will kind of adjourn this actual meeting. We have asked that each council person record the session that they're actually going to be in, so that that can be made available to you, so that there are no private things happening. Once again, anyone is welcome to come to any of these meetings anytime you're going to meet. So just wanted to let you guys know that. Thank you, and I will go ahead and adjourn the actual full meeting. Unless, does anyone have anything for the good of the whole group before we move? All right. Yes, ma'am. Mr. Keller, when will the next meeting be, so that we can tell this whole group okay, so good question. And that is for the whole group. That's good. So we're on the 18th of August. I would probably, the next, so if you go depends on how often you want to meet. The Tuesday is the 1st of September. You could do that. That'd be in 2 weeks. Or if you wanted that third Tuesday out will be, that's actually finance and agenda prep, so you cannot do that. And then however you want to go, just get you something. Mondays? You're exactly right, Mr. Hausnick. So you could do the 31st, or you could go, now the 7th would be Labor Day, so you're not going to do that. So you either do the 31st or the 14th.
Well, let's ask,
So,
do you guys
going-
want a week of subcommittees meeting?
2 or 4 weeks from
and
now.
then coming back? I think that it might be beneficial to say that we do it on the 14th. And then that would give the subcommittees like 3 weeks to be able to meet, start working on things, pull things together before we even come back here. And a lot of these meetings are going to be just like, the next one I'm assuming is probably just going to be like a report of kind of where the subcommittees are and then kind of next steps at
So
that point.
we're going to do the 14th, is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all, what do y'all think? Is anyone saying boo to the 14th?
That's 4 weeks out, and I'll talk about that.
14th here.
I think that's what Mr. Wilson's talking about, is reclaiming the land. So one thing I do want to talk about while we're still here as a group, you as a group of people can meet and do as much as you want. Exchange your phone numbers. You're welcome to meet. That's not illegal. The legality is the fact that when we have council members and myself in the meeting, so that has to be a public meeting. So you can talk to your neighbors. You can talk to your friends. You can, if you want to drive to Tulsa and see something, or wherever the nearest data center is, you're welcome to do that. Go get information. You're welcome to go to Clarksville, talk to anybody in Clarksville. You're welcome to go to Conway, whatever. You are welcome because you are citizens, and you're welcome to do any of those things. You're not elected officials. So just wanted you to know that you're welcome to do any of that. Now also, you all are welcome to come and talk to any of us one-on-one. Our phone numbers are on the website. My office is open. All you have to do is just call and get an appointment. You're welcome to come talk with any of us one-on-one. That's completely legal. The point is, when we get multiples together, we have to call a public meeting. So just wanted to let you know that. And please, council, if you would, just record your group together. And if those are, I think that's it. We're good. Anybody else? That's a great question back there, ma'am. So September 14th, Monday, be 5:30.
Hey, Teague, I'm back. Hey.
Yes.
Okay, so question, and this may have already been clarified in the first session, but I guess the subcommittees are going to meet tonight, report back
I
tonight?
think
That's
no, I
gonna
think
the
we're just
plan,
going to
or we're
meet, and then
gonna-
when you get done, we'll come back on the 14th
Okay.
and talk.
Okay, and then council members are going to like one of these subcommittees,
Yes.
so there's accountability, and you guys aren't just
Yes.
taking a
Yep.
issue.
I'm
and
taking health and
forgetting-
safety to my, I'm taking health and safety to my office. I don't know who else is taking what.
right.
Okay, who's taking what? Mr. Pearson, where are you going? Water. Mr. Gray, where are you going? Okay. Okay. Okay, and Mr. Keller, somebody tell where you're going, but I'm going to take, and Ms. Wetzel will be taking another group, and so I'm going to be going to my office for health and safety, and we will be formally adjourned. Thank you, Mr. Hodge.